Live from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
Keegan Michael Key back on the Rich Eisen Show.
A friend of mine who was in Italy once and he was watching Star Wars. Can you imagine? There's an Italian person dubbing Darth Vader's voice.
No, io sono tuo padre.
Today's guests, Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinee Jimmy Johnson, New Orleans Saints safety Malcolm Jenkins, plus actor Rob Corddry. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
All right, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Rich Eisen Show. Here we are live from our Los Angeles studios. We are hanging out here on a Friday. The we is my man Chris Brockman across the way. Mike Del Tufo is doing something somewhere for somebody else today, so he's out.
Not us.
Our man Feller is sitting in, and TJ Jefferson, our social media grandmaster extraordinaire, is sitting right down in his chair for he's
What's up, Rich?
And he's genuinely excited. I don't know if anybody could tell because he's got his Cowboys helmet and his Cowboys flag, and he's just it's like he's driving around stuck in 1995. Speaking of hot tub time machine, Rob Corddry's on in hour number 3, and Jimmy Johnson is our first guest in about 18 minutes time.
Let's go.
Okay.
Here's some stories about the good old days.
Jimmy
Rich.
Johnson is going to be joining us on this program. Super Bowl 55. 1 week from today is when both teams will be. Well, one team doesn't have to arrive; they're already there. And then this is when the Chiefs will be arriving. Next Friday is when I'm told. They're going to be, it was funny earlier this week when we had Bruce Arians on the show, and I'm like, what an advantage for you to be spending all 2 weeks at home. What an advantage for you that you've got the creature comforts of home, and that you don't have to bubble up as what we thought you would be doing, or you wouldn't have to go to a hotel in your hometown or whatever. But you just stay in. You just stay where you are and you go to your facility, your actual facility. It's not someone else's facility. That's unbelievable. What an advantage for you. And then, because he's been around the block a few times, I thought I was as well. His response essentially being, well, Rich, Chiefs are going to be staying at home, too, for much of the week. It's no big deal. They'll just treat this like a road game. They're just going to fly in on a Friday. That's basically what they're going to do.
Sounds great.
Maybe they even fly in Saturday. I don't know. The NFL. It's one of those things where I don't know if the NFL will be like, you're really going to wait till the last second? You're really going to wait till the last day? Maybe they will. I don't know. And, I've already spoken to some people in the NFL, and they think that the way that everything's going down in the state of Florida, that this is going to be just like any old Super Bowl weekend, Chris, where it's just going to be party central and, And
I guess that Florida's different than kind of the rest of the country.
But it's a Tampa Super Bowl, and people are going to be going out, and I won't be, so everyone understands.
Yeah.
I'll be stuck in my hotel room, which is just fine with me.
Yeah, totally.
But it's Super Bowl Sunday coming up next weekend, Super Bowl 55, and in the meantime, what are we going to do? Well, right now, as we are talking, right now as we are speaking, right here on NBC Sports on Peacock and this Rich Eisen Show radio affiliate or Sirius XM Channel 211, NBC Sports Audio. Nick Sirianni's being introduced as the newest head coach of your Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, all right.
Hey, Nick, what do you think of your quarterback situation since we were told you were the guy that's going to be making this call? And I'm assuming, will Jeffrey Lurie be sitting up there? And so he's making the call, but why wasn't Peterson was Peterson making the call? Is that why he's not here anymore? Because there's been a lot of squaring of circles of what Jeffrey Lurie said publicly 2 weeks ago from a lot in the Philadelphia media. That's literally going down right now. Welcome to coaching in the NFL, Nick Sirianni. He's never been at HC, the coordinator for Frank Reich in Indianapolis. Is Carson Wentz your guy? What about Jalen Hurts? All of that's happening right now. And they might be able to just put it in a box and say these are evaluations that we're making and what have you, and we'll just say, well, if they're not saying anything concrete, or they'll say it's Wentz. Sorry, Jalen. I don't know if they'll come out and say something specifically like that. But whatever it is, it's literally a walk in the park. It's a whistling in the park, whistling in the wind, having a good time, being like that floating feather from Forrest Gump. compared to what's going to be going down in 55 minutes time, which is the introductory press conference of the Texans' new head coach, David Culley.
I feel for this guy.
Again, man is a lifer, a football lifer, a 5-year contract at age 65. He was selling something that Cal McNair and Nick Caserio and Jack Easterby bought.
Okay.
And Culley will be taking to the microphone in 55 minutes' time, or I'm hoping it'll be Cal McNair first for his sake, and that he'll take all the questions on Deshaun Watson. Because how in the world are you going to ask David Culley, like, have you spoken to Deshaun? Did you reach out to him? Did he respond to you? What did he say? When are you meeting with him? It could be, I'm going to meet with Deshaun later today, or I'm going to meet with Deshaun tomorrow, or I haven't heard back from him. When did he ask for his trade? How long have you known? Did you know when you took the job? Why did you take the job if there's no Deshaun Watson here? Are you hoping that he does stay? I mean, my God, I just came up with 12 questions off the top of my head.
Like the dereliction of duty if the owner doesn't come out first to answer questions. If that happens, it'll remind me, remember when Tebow signed with the Jets and they just sent Tim out by himself?
Well, the reason why that happened is because it was the owner's meeting.
But Rex wasn't even there.
Because it was the owner's meeting.
So weird. That
the coach and the owner were at an actual league meeting, the annual league meeting where coaches and so maybe you wait till
it's over.
Right.
I mean,
and I do remember Tim Tebow's introductory press conference for somebody who wasn't going to be the quarterback was him just strolling out.
Yeah.
And sitting in front of that step and repeat and having his own press conference there. I remember that. And it was weird. Oh, my God, was Tim Tebow there weird.
So, I mean, for David Culley's sake, I hope the owner comes out first to take the question.
Yeah, so what do you think? Let's go, David. What do you think? And what's going on? Is Easterby going to be there taking questions too? Because that would be something.
What is it with this guy? Does he have pictures of somebody?
Actually, you know what? We should have, if this wasn't a pandemic and, I wasn't in charge of the budget, we would have sent you down to Houston to essentially be there. Hey, Cal McNair.
To the press conference?
Rich Eisen Show, Chris Brockman, Rich Eisen Show. My question is for you on Jack Easterby. What is it with this guy? Or, Jack, I've got a question for you, Rich Eisen Show, from Chris Brockman from Rich Eisen Show. What's the matter with you? What is it with you?
What do you have on these people?
Who are you?
Yeah, what is
How
your deal?
did you get here? Why do you have so much influence? How have you survived all of this? How did you?
Valid questions.
Nick Caserio, Chris Brockman, Rich Eisen Show right here. How did you get hired? You were not even on the list of guys that Cal McNair. That's a question as well. Was Nick on your list from the headhunting firm that? I mean, my gosh.
How much did you pay the hunting firm to then hire a guy they did not recommend?
Did you give Deshaun Watson an assurance that he would be counseled before you hired Nick, who's sitting right next to you?
Yeah. Exactly.
Did you do that? Why did you ask him who he wanted as the next head coach? Did you give him that? Why is he so upset with you, do you think? Is there any way that this can be reconciled? Is he your quarterback? Are you planning on having him there? What if they come up there and say he's our starting quarterback here in 2021 and we'll see him here? If he's not here when he's not supposed to be, we will take under advisement all that we are allowed to have.
I mean,
and the collective bargaining agreement of the NFL. I mean,
if they say that, we will be monitoring Deshaun's social media.
Honestly, and David Culley, what's your relationship with A.J. McCarron? Because that's the guy that's apparently going to be your starter, unless you trade Deshaun. Nick, have you gotten any phone calls on Deshaun? Nick, how many are you taking calls on Deshaun Watson?
You had to hire an assistant.
Nick, have you called Deshaun Watson? Have you spoken with Deshaun? When was the last time you spoke with? Oh, and by the way, none of these questions that we have just come up with
like 50
that are all valid questions. I don't know if some of them are going to be posed in the way of like, what's the matter with you, Jack?
I mean, John McClane would probably do it.
You literally just turned into David Byrne and made that whole thing a Talking Head song. Like, this is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife. How did I get here? Like, all these questions.
With the exception is that my clothes are not ill-fitting. You know, but so for me, you know, the crazy thing about all these questions that I just said, none of them have to do with David Culley's coaching acumen or plan or anything. None of them have to do with why David Culley was hired. Right. You know, like none of them have to do. And
what's your scheme, coach?
One can only imagine. We all have, you know, egos. We all have egos. One can only imagine that. You think that when you're unveiled as the new head coach of a team, it's about, you know, what your philosophy is and why you were the choice of the team. And by the way, that's the way the press conference will begin. You know, with, I'm assuming, the owner and general manager and Culley out there, and it will be all about David. Like, you know, when we first met David, he was X, Y, and Z, and we were immediately impressed. And even though we then gave a million other interviews to other people, like Josh McCown. That's another question. Why did you give Josh McCown an interview? Did you really consider him? I mean, at any rate, so on and so forth. We felt like he was a perfect fit for us and all of that. They can go that, and then Nick might say something, general manager, and then Culley says something, and then time for questions. And then everything that they've just said will be thoroughly ignored by the rest of the media, and then here we go. Mm-hmm. And by the way, apparently, did you see who he's going to hire as his defensive coordinator? Lovey.
Oh, really?
Lovey Smith is going to be the defensive coordinator. And any Bears fan will tell you, yeah. And any Rams fan will tell you, too. Marshall always spoke very highly of Lovey Smith.
That might get J.J. Watt to stay.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
No, I'm not. Yeah.
No chance?
No, I don't. Like I said yesterday, J.J. Watt has every reason to sit there and say, what about me?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And every reason to sit there and say, you know, I put my heart and soul in here, too. And if you're starting from scratch, you look at me, man. I finally played some seasons where I haven't gotten hurt. Catastrophically, by the way. Like, the guy never just has, you know.
Sprained ankle.
Right. He's the guy who's basically always fighting back and always putting it out on the line, blood, sweat, and tears. And if this guy has 2-3 years left, obviously this isn't the spot to try and win a Super Bowl over the next 2-3 years. This window is about maybe year 4 of the David Culley era with a new quarterback. Because this Humpty Dumpty's not going back together. Oh, my gosh, this is all playing out in 45 minutes. If I wasn't only interviewing Malcolm Jenkins at the time, I'd have to, like, watch it, you know? But Malcolm Jenkins is on this show as well, and he's the only human being on planet Earth who's beaten Tom Brady in the Super Bowl not once but twice for 2 different teams. Eli, as we know, is a guy who's gotten him twice. There's a couple of those Giants were in both of those teams twice, but he's the only guy who beat him in the Saints in 2009. Actually, pardon me. He's a guy, this is correct. He's a guy who got Peyton Manning and Brady. He's the only guy on planet Earth who's beaten Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. That's the correct stat in the Super Bowl. He beat Peyton Manning in 2009 and Brady with Foles and company.
Oh,
I wonder what he's thinking now, what's going on in Philadelphia. My gosh, lots to talk about on this show. Do you have a poll question over there, Christopher?
You know, I've been kind of...
That's a no. Okay, so
he's got no.
Okay,
It's not a no. I've been trying to, like, workshop one. It's Tom Selleck's birthday today.
Hey.
So I was thinking best sports mustache, going that kind of the funny way. And then I was also trying to come up with a quarterback one, since we're talking so much about quarterbacks. Like, which of these veteran guys available would you most want for next year? But then I was like, why don't we just go for it? Like, what's the best Super Bowl quarterback matchup ever?
Okay.
Brady Mahomes. We're going right now.
Yes.
This one that's happening right now.
Recent.
And then I was just looking at a list of the Super Bowls to try to come up with the rest.
How about Peyton Breeze?
That's great. Love it.
Right? Marino and
Montana
and Elway and Favre.
But that's pretty recent. It's that's the last.
Staubach Bradshaw.
Staubach, Bradshaw. You want to have something from back in that day? We can do that.
Who do we take off there?
Maybe Mahomes and Brady, since it